So here's the Shearline original, and here's the 2.0. Now at first glance, this one just looks a little bit smaller, but there's some really big differences between them. Besides the fact that this retails for $9,000 and this retails for $6,500. So the first thing is that the original comes with this hopper. It's really nice, it's convenient, you can just fill this whole thing up and it helps you feed the machine. Now the 2.0 does not come with the hopper, but it comes with legs so that you can raise it up and you could use it with the hopper if you wanted to buy the hopper as an accessory. Now let's put this aside and take a closer look at what's inside. Alrighty, so first thing I'm going to show you is how easy it is to free the drum. Another thing I'll mention while I'm doing this is that all the tools that you'll need to take care of the machine come with it. So 4 bolts and the drum is out. Now you're able to see the reel and the bed knife. Now to remove the knife, what we're going to do is we're going to loosen these set screws. Just got to give them a half turn to loosen them. And then we're going to take out the adjustment blocks. There's 2 screws on both sides. I just loosen them and then I'm able to remove them both at the same time with my fingers. And that's the adjustment block. Now what you notice is that there's nylocks on both sides here, and that's what's going to keep it in adjustment so that when we go to put the blade back, it's going to be in exactly the right position. So same thing on this side. Take out. I'll just remove these by hand. And look how easy the blade comes out. Now it's important that you take the blade out because you're going to get a lot of resin building up underneath. And what happens is it actually pushes up the knife away from the reel. If it's further away from the reel, you're not going to get as clean of a cut. So every couple of hours you need to remove this blade and you need to just scrape it top and bottom with a razor knife. And then you want to do the same thing to this bed bar, because if you get resin building up on here, again it's going to push the knife up. The knife is going to be further away from the bed, from the reel. So it's important every couple of hours you just take a minute to clean it, just like you would with your scissors. You don't use scissors all day without cleaning them, right? So now just going to show you. These are high-powered magnets. They're going to suck the blade right back into place. And then we're going to put the adjustment blocks back on. So you've got these little pins here, and then you use that to pull the knife back to where it lines up with the holes for the bolts. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Then we use the tool. Now, all the bolts here, we're just tightening them hand tight, alright? You don't need to like be a gorilla and over tighten them. So just a little hand tight. Over here, you've got the set screws. And that's it. Now normally at this point I'd replace the drum and put the top back on. But what I want to do first is I want to take apart this one so we can expose the knife on this machine so you can see what the differences are between the original and the 2.0. So like I said, the 2.0 retails for $6,500. It's $2,500 less than the original. So it makes it possible for a wider group of growers to use this machine. Okay, pull this off. and the drum is free. And now you can see the difference between the blade design. So I'm going to hold one in front of another here. So on the original, what you have is a reel that's coming very close to this bed knife. What you have on the 2.0 is you have two blades that are on top of each other that are doing like a scissor action, or like a turkey carving knife, you know, or a hedge trimmer. The way you've got those two blades going on top of each other. So let me show you how we take this apart. Take that out. We have a connecting rod over here. Just pull that off. And so first thing I'm going to show you is what happens here is the blade gets this type of action. And you can see how it's going to cut like a real scissor. Now, pop that blade off. Wiggle this one off. And again, we're going to scrape the top and the bottom of them. Okay, with a wire brush, we're going to scrape out the edges a little bit. Okay, and then we put them back in place. Now, one thing I want to point out at this point, I don't know if you can see, there's a little oil on this blade. So, the Shearline original does not require any oil, but the 2.0 does, and the reason is because we've got these two blades riding on each other, creating friction. So, advantages of this machine: it's smaller, it uses less power, it has a very clean cut with this scissor action. But one thing that some people find as a disadvantage is that you do need to lubricate the blades. So there's a possibility that you'd get some type of oil onto your leaf. Now, it's not going to be on your flowers that are in the drum, but you know, the leaf that comes in contact with the blade might end up having a little bit of oil on it. Alrighty, before I put this back together, I just wanted to show you one more thing. Pull these blades out again real quick. So when you take the blades out and you take this squirt out, there's basically nothing else that's going to get all that dirty on the inside of the machine. So there's a lot less cleaning that's going to be required with 2.0 in comparison to the original. The reason for that, let's slide this back in here, this basically hides everything inside. All the leaf is going to go directly into the squirt, into the blower. So again, very little to clean over here. But when you look at the original, you have so many facets to this blade, to the reel. Okay, and so you need to pressure wash that whole reel. We want to get the entire inside clean. Obviously, it's easy to take the blade out to give you better access to do that. So the original, I'm not going to tell you that it's hard to clean, but you know, it's harder to clean than the 2.0. Both of them we suggest that you use a pressure washer with hot water. This hot water shouldn't be like boiling water. It should just be like hot water out of your tap. Hot water is just going to make everything just loosen up and come off a lot easier. And that's basically it. So I'm just going to quickly put these machines back together. Just drop that blade in there. Just put that there. Attach the connecting rod. I just screw these down by hand. Again, we are not looking to tighten these down too much. Just want it snug. I don't even hold the top of the wrench when I do this. That's enough. Now you're going to look at the drum. And on our drum here, you can see there's a side that is a lot more just metal without slots. So that's going to go on the side over here where there's no blade. So you can see it lines up with the blade so that our slots are directly over the blade. Then, put this on, and I'm going to spin it around just so that you can see on the 2.0 we've got a slot that helps you line everything up. And you're just going to tighten down these bolts. Again, we're just finger tightening. And that's it for the Shearline original. Now let's throw this one back together. So with the original, if you look on this side of the drum, there's more metal than on this side. Side that's got more sticking out goes on the motor and belt side. Just drop that in there. And with the original, if you try to put it in the wrong way, it doesn't line up. See that? See how it doesn't line up? So you can't put it in the wrong way. Boom. So we tighten these up and we're back in business. So I just showed you how easy it is to take apart both the Shearline and the 2.0 so that you can see how easy it's going to be for you to take care of these machines when they're in your garden.